There you go.
Got it.
Welcome. Welcome to Paradigm Shifters. Wow. And it is June 14th, 2022. Let's take,
Flag Day.
amen. Let's take a deep breath into this day and out and get centered right where you are, right where you are. Well, welcome to Paradigm Shifters. Paradigm Shifters is a community dedicated to shift and
Okay.
uplift the planet. And we are like over 1,400 strong, almost 1,500, and from all over the world, all over the planet. And I'm so grateful for this journey. And before we start, we have the month of June is dedicated to your sacred body temple, our topics. So let's just take a moment and center that beautiful body right where you are. Possibly put your feet on the ground and get grounded. And before I introduce our speaker today, I want to read this that came in today. I just love it. The rules for being human. The first rule: you will receive a body. How's that? The first rule is you will receive a body. You may not like it or hate it, but it will be yours for the entire period this time around. Rule number 2: you will learn lessons. You are enrolled in a full time informal school called Life. Each day in this school, you will have the opportunity to learn lessons. You may like the lessons or think them irrelevant. The choice is yours. Rule number 3: there are no mistakes, only lessons. Growth is a process of trial and error known as experimentation. The failed experiments are as much a part of the process as the experiment that ultimately works. Amen. Okay, and rule number 4: a lesson is repeated until learned. A lesson will be presented to you in various forms until you have learned it. When you have learned it, you will then go on to the next lesson. Amen, Carol?
Amen.
And in rule number 5 for being human, learning lessons does not end. There's no part of life that does not contain lessons. If you are alive, then there are lessons to be learned. So I just love that. It came in perfectly, like, oh, I've got to read that to everyone. So let's take another deep breath in here. And for the second week in June, I asked my really close friend and, client, colleague, Carol Pitner to come in. Now, Carol has an interesting story. We're talking specifically with your body about our hands today. And just think of the many ways that you use and have used your hands to bless, to pray, possibly to hurt, but our hands today. Now, Carol is a career or a lifelong massage therapist. So come on in, Carol, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you've maybe used your hands to heal or anything about your hands, your massage, your healing journal, and come on in. It's all yours.
Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you, Judy, for the opportunity. Um, I started out as a grocery clerk. I was a grocery clerk for 25 years, and I didn't realize it until after I was taken out of that position that I actually asked for it because I told the universe that I would like to do more with people. And so I got into massage, which was a great place for me to be. I started massage school, and my intention was to go to Hannah Somatic School, which is another learning, and it's a 3-year program. And so I went to massage school in order to learn about the body before I went there. And that's what got me into massage. But I enjoyed doing massage. I enjoyed being with people. For the first time in my life, I enjoyed being quiet and just being in tune with someone else's body. And in learning massage, you're practicing, so you're always getting and you're always giving, so that you're learning. And in that process, I learned that while I was learning it because I wanted to do for others, I was actually starting to get healed from it myself. So everything that I would say, gee, I'd like to learn more, I'd like to do this, and I'd like to do this, it was actually my body telling me what to take that I needed for the next step. So everything that I was learning for other people, but I was learning it for me first. So that's been a wonderful journey. I did it for almost 28 years. And then I had a health challenge and I had to quit because I couldn't do 1.5 hour massage anymore. It was too much on my body. And so 2 years ago, I completely let it go. But then again, I remembered after that I had said to the universe, I would like to go deeper in my work. And the message from the universe was, when you go deeper with you, your work will go deeper. And so for the last 2 years, I've been on a journey of learning exactly who and what I am without a husband, without being a mother, without a job. It's like everything at one time. And it's been a challenge, but it's been very interesting. And I'm grateful to have found supportive people and an opportunity for more growth. So that's where I am. And the hands, it's interesting when we talk about our sacred body temple, because I have found over my learning that our body holds all the answers for all of our aches and pains. It heals itself. And our hands are the most important tools that we have, that we carry. And yet everything that we seem to do with them is out there. It's making something. But we don't think of them as much as tools for healing, for our own healing. And in the body, we have, I call them like trains. They're just going in all different directions and all over, and some of them connect with each other and some of them don't, and they're just traveling all the time. So in learning about the body, God gave us all these things from within. Like I used to tell my clients, when you get massage, it's physical. It's something you feel. It feels great. The minute you touch a body, you change the neurophysiology of it anyway. So it's very comforting. Some people don't know how to feel their body, and so they like that deep, deep stuff that your body just doesn't like, but they like because they don't know how to be with their body. So, but it's interesting because we don't think of our body as having a hood, an under the hood. So I tell people, I do acupressure with you and you don't like it. Why? And they'd say, because I don't think anything's is happening. And I said, yeah, but when you're working under the hood, there are things going on that you don't absolutely feel, but they're all of the things that keep us going. So it's difficult to ask people to transition from something that they're used to feeling on the outside and learn how to go within and feel what's happening with the energy on the inside. And sometimes for me, it can feel like a pinball machine. You're working maybe at your feet and all of a sudden you feel something going on at your neck or your shoulders and you go, isn't that interesting? So it's like popcorn just kind of going off in the body as you do things. So he's given us these marvelous trains. Some are called meridians, some are called chakras, some are called acupuncture points. but they all run throughout your body to take care of your whole body. So when you're working on, say, the chakras, or you're working on the meridians, you might be working with one meridian, but when you do, it's like Mary tells us in the 4 quadrants. When you work on one, you're actually helping all of them because you're changing. So that's the way it is with our body. So our hands are very important tools for us. We take them everywhere we go. They don't have to go in a bag. We can use them on ourselves, or we can use them on others. So it's something that you can do for yourself, and you can also give as a gift to your family, friends, in a hospital. A very nurturing thing, just by doing touch, because as we all know, we're all energy. So it's quite interesting. And the hands work in, the fingers work in several different ways. Each one takes care of certain organs, and they also take care of certain attitudes. So if you take your fingers, your thumb is all about worry. All about worry. And so it gets awfully stressful in that thumb, and it can cause a lot of problems. And a lot of times I think that's what causes carpal tunnel or different things, because it's repetitive, but it also, you're using your thumbs a lot for different work. So they take a lot of stress. So that's worry and preoccupation. So you can hold your thumb when you feel worried, and it will dissipate under the hood. It'll go through all the different areas and things, and it will help you to let it go. The left side is the deeper side, so it goes deeper. The right side is more, what do you call it? Like toward the surface, closer to the surface. So that's your thumb. It's also your stomach and your spleen. So where you have your fingernail, you hold one corner of your fingernail, and it's the spleen, and the other one is the stomach. So you can just put your fingers there and hold right there, and you're affecting your stomach and your spleen. So just different things to think about. Your index finger is your fear and anxiety. This one, I was told when I was taking Jin Shin Jitsu, which is a acupressure form, if you hold this every day on both fingers, fear, as it releases, will let go of all the other attitudes. Interesting, huh? It's so interesting. And the index finger is negativity and lack. Very important finger, holds on to a lot. And it has to do with your bladder and kidney. So the same thing, you can just hold the finger and hold the nail bed, and that will help to dissipate that. Interesting, huh? Your middle finger, what do you think that attitude is? I think it's got a great use, boy. Anger and frustration, irritation. I didn't realize, I have to admit, I think for the longest time, I only had 2 emotions. It was, I felt good or I felt angry. I didn't know that there were different words to anger, like frustration. You could just be frustrated, but I just always thought I'm angry. But I wasn't a lot of the time. I was really frustrated. So that's an interesting one to take care of. This one has to do with your gallbladder and your liver. Very, very important. Very important. Really helps a great deal. And I'll talk a little bit more about them afterward. Ring finger is sadness, grief, and loss. I have to tell you a story about the ring finger before I go on, because I have two little grandsons that are brothers. And so one of them was visiting me and he was just really frustrated about something. And I said, you go sit on the couch and you hold your middle finger until you feel that calmness come back to you. So he sat on the couch. So I took him home. The next day, his mother called me. He said, what did you teach Riley? I said, what do you mean? I said, I asked him something and he gave me the middle finger. I said, he wasn't giving you the middle finger. He was telling you to hold the middle finger. So it is something that I think would be very important to teach children, because they can get frustrated and get, kind of angry, and just tell them, sit down and just hold your finger for a few minutes. Take a few breaths and hold your finger and let yourself relax. So that can help with the middle finger. The ring finger, again, is sadness, grief, loss, and it's the large intestine and the lung. And one good thing for anybody that likes to hike, I did it because I've only done one marathon in my life, and I was fortunate enough that God helped me through it. But what I did was I took my ring finger and I put my thumb bed over my ring finger nail. And if you do that when you're walking, it helps your breathing. It helps everything to move, so you can actually walk farther, less out of breath. Like me, I get very out of breath up till now, but just hold that as you're walking. It's very comfortable. You can just be gentle with it as you're walking, and it truly, truly helps. The last one, the try-tos, the pretense, the insecurity. Yeah. This aids in laughter. Holding your middle finger aids in laughter. You're not trying to do or be who you're not. It has to do with the small intestine and the heart. If you know older people in your family, I mean, they don't have to be old to have a heart attack these days, but if you ever felt like you were having a heart attack, you just take your teeth, and right here at the nail bed where I said hold, you put that between your teeth and you bite down as hard as you can. And it will actually stop a heart attack. Yeah, very interesting. But you just, sometimes these things, when you're in the middle of it, you don't think about it. But it's just nice to know. And the more that you think about it, or the more that you try it or use it, then maybe it will come, when you really need it, or you see somebody else that might be having that happen to them. So those are the fingers. And what you can do so you can use your fingers on yourself. I'm not flexible enough to use my fingers with my toes, but there's a coordination to work with them where you're cross-bodying. So if you're working with someone else, you just want to make them feel a little better. They're in bed and they're, you can take and sit on one side. And if you're sitting on this side, you can take and hold the fingers of one hand with the toes of the opposite leg. And that will help take it through the whole body and then go to the other side. So the thumb, you'd hold the thumb on, say, the right hand and the little toe on the left. And then you go backwards. So this would be the little toe, the next toe, the middle toe, and then the big toe, so that you're working cross. And that can help somebody an awful lot. The other really good one that you can do for someone else is if they're in a lot of pain. Two different things. One, if they're in a lot of pain, you can just go down and hold their big toes. Because the way that acupressure, the way that energy works is, if the root of your problem is above your waist, the root cause of it is below your waist. So you're getting the pain up here in the front or your back. but it's actually from something that's not coming over your head and going down, or it's something that's not going around your feet and coming back up. And so it just gets blocked. So it's interesting because a lot of times people that have headaches will hold their head. But if you're holding your head, you're actually bringing more pain.
Oh,
You have to hold opposite, hold your knees or hold somewhere down below your waist so that you're actually pulling the energy down. That helps a lot. And if you're having the pain below, then come and hold up above, anywhere up above. You don't have to actually know acupressure to be able to do it. We're all energy. And I think all of the energy techniques out there tell everybody the same thing in different language. So different techniques, but when you're doing it, you just want to move the energy, get the clogs out.
what a gift.
Yeah, so that's what the fingers have to do with it. And Judy, it was interesting that you brought up the breathing, because in acupressure they talk about a 36 breath relief, because you have different depths throughout your body. So each time you do, it's 36 breaths divided by 4 is 9 breaths. So when you start, it's always with an out breath. Instead of the in breath being 1, you breathe in, and then when you breathe out, that's 1. It goes down your whole body, around your feet, and then as you breathe in, it comes up your back, all the way up, and then when you breathe out again, it goes all the way down. And they used to tell us that if you do 36 breaths a day consciously, with awareness, that it will help to keep all your body in alignment. You can do, sometimes when I first started, 36 sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But when you're actually doing them, you'd be surprised how fast it goes by. But they told us you could do it in 4 increments of 9 breaths, so that you could do 9 in the morning, and then you could do 9 early afternoon, and 9 a little later, and then 9 when you went to bed. So you can do it all at one time. But as you do it, you can actually feel your energy moving with your breath. Very, very interesting how something so simple as our hands and our breath can do so much for what we don't get to see happening in our body, but we feel it.
Wow.
Yeah, very interesting. There's so I love doing acupressure, but the thing of it is, like I said, when you start massage and people feel the nurturing of massage, just going like this doesn't seem as nurturing as taking warm oil and going all over your body.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. I mean, if we just took, you know, this one, gosh, you gave us so many tools. I had no idea about how important these hands are. I was just, and that's also so interconnected with our spiritual side, body, spiritual. Wow.
Yeah. And one other tool that you can write down that's really, really helpful, because it helps the body, is you can take one hand and put on your shoulder just lightly. And then you can take the other hand, we're sitting, so it might be a little difficult, but you put it near your groin, near your pubic area. You just put it, it's kind of like where the leg meets the body. And, and so you just hold that for a little bit. You may not feel anything in the beginning. You might feel a knot in one of the in either area when you go there, but you just hold that for a little bit. This takes the energy down, the front. So it'll take the energy from where your hand is at your groin, all the way down your legs, all the way back up to your waist in the back. It goes that far when you're doing it. Then you can take and keep this hand where it is, and you take this hand and you sit on it where that little bone is right under your buttocks. That pulls the energy the rest of the way up from your waist all the way up to the top of your head and starts to come down the front. So just doing those things, you keep the energy going on both sides of your body.
Wow. You
Yeah,
said
it's wonderful, wonderful
wonderful.
work.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for all that. Wow, that went by so fast. It wow, and as you know, because you're always on paradigm shifters, we what can we hold? I love it. We're holding, energetically holding, for Carol Pittner from Chowchilla, California. What would you love for yourself and your body healing? Well, your body is healed. I know I've been on this journey with you with your healing of your body, and what would you love? I know we didn't even get into that part of your healing over the last couple of years, but
Well, what's been interesting for me in the healing of my body is that I had a challenging accident when I was 18. And since about 2010, I have been unraveling that accident through my body in all different kinds of ways. It shows up in different areas, and then when I go through it, I know what it was. The energy from just that accident was in so many different areas of my body until something would happen and I had to have my hip replaced, and I knew that that was a big part of it. And then something happened and I had to have a wisdom tooth taken out. I knew that was a big part of it. So it's like um, this little game of unraveling. I don't think Fiona's ever heard me talk about this, but I feel that our body is like it collects hairballs of intertwined um, beliefs, projections, um, accidents, different things when we were young, emotions. And so it creates this nasty ball. And so you go to the doctor with something and you tell him your symptoms, and he just puts a name to your hairball. And then someone else comes in with those same symptoms and one more, and now he has another name for another hair. So when we're doing all this kind of work and anything, because all of us have been on this journey for a long, long time, it's just unraveling that hairball so that it just kind of loosens up and lets things flow naturally again.
oh,
So what you can hold for me is I'm still creating my vision. But now I have come to where I believe that my vision is to know myself, to love myself, to nurture myself, and be a light.
amen. Let's put some energy on that. Wow, the lioness. All right, we're gonna to know, like, and love, and all the adventures you're about to take, and all the ones that you have been. Send some energy to Carol Pittner. Whew. And
Thank you
so it.
so much.
Yes, receive it. Wow. Thank you so much, Carol. That was amazing. Love it. And I love this month of June because we're opening up different avenues of healing, our body, mind, and soul. So thank you. And see you next time.